So I'm having fun with the Volkswagen Passat. It's an 04 with the A4 motor. These were also in the Audis. And what I need to replace is this water outlet for the coolant. And this bolts up to the back of the engine. In these motors, it's really tight in here. So basically, you got to remove these tubes. So first take the cover off. Start removing these tubes. This has been done before because there was just hose clamps on here. This is stock right here, and it's hard to, like, if you've gone into it, you just put a regular hose clamp back on. So yeah, remove the tubes. This tube they say to remove too, but I don't think I'm going to have to. Pulled the fuel lines out of the way with a zip tie, because you have to get into this side and that side, and this has to come off also, which is held on by 3 long bolts, and they like to use Allen head bolts on these motors. So where I'm trying to go is in the back. I've finally got access to it, and I removed all the coil packs for the spark plugs just to get those out of the way and just set them up here. That makes it a little easier. I just want to get a light on this. So back in here, this is where it was leaking, and the shop had replaced this as the coolant temperature sensor, and I saw that the leak was coming off the back. Now there could be another issue in here also, and this could be cracked anyways, but this is the part we're replacing. So I've already unclipped that, and I'm going to tuck this out of the way behind these wires, and I'll need to put a new seal on this and any other seals that are necessary. I've got to unhook this bottom hose right here. This goes to the heater core, and then the other side goes to the main radiator and stuff. So basically, this is what we've got. This is the part that goes back in, and that you can see how that lines up, kind of, you know. That's what it is. It's a little tight to get to, but if you take your time and make sure you put pieces back, just so you know where they are and they're not in just some pile somewhere. These I've got to leave out of the way because they'll be in the way. So I'm going to have to pull that out next. Just give you more detail about where I'm going, and try to get a light on the I unhooked these and pulled wires and stuff away. I unhooked this this sensor too, and that bolt on the top is, I got to get to that one. There's one down below. Those two will pull that main line off, and then I can unbolt the whole thing from it. So it's good to go through everything too, you know, like you can check all your tubes and you know, make sure they're good. This one is bad. It's got some horrible cracks in it, and it's the main tube for something, maybe the turbo, but it hooks right here and hooks up to this line right there. I'm not exactly sure what it, and then this part that goes on to this. And the bolts to take this water outlet thing is, or inlet outlet, are 10 millimeter. So if you're just in your home shop, it's good to jack up the vehicle. I like to take the front wheels off, and I put a pan underneath here to catch any fluid coming out, which there will be. And I'm about to crawl up on top of this motor just so I can get down in the back here and get these 2 bolts off. They're going to be really difficult. Alright, so I just want to show the setup I have for taking this bottom bolt out. Climbing up on top of the front, where I'm not going to break any plastic. I've got a knuckle down on the end with a 10 millimeter socket and an extension with one of these. ratchets. I kind of like these a lot. I use this quite a bit because you can flex it back and forth. And I've already got it loose and it's going to come right out. That's the bottom one that's the toughest. Okay, that's the setup. It works pretty good. I've got both of them out. Once they were loosened, they're easy to take out just by hand. And now we in front of the light here. It's hard to get. But it's this tube right here going down to that area, and I can separate it. You can hear the fluid. That's why that bucket's down there. So that's just loose. You don't have to take it completely off. Now I got to take the other bolts off the engine part. So it's nice to have like a little light that has a magnet on it. It's a little LED light. I can't even see this bolt down here, but it's right underneath that part. And I've already loosened it up, but it's also holding a bracket on for a pipe. So once I used a 10mm, really small wrench. There's one up on top of that too, up right above it. We'll see if I can get into that. Let's see if I can even feel it there. It's like, yeah, it's right about there. This is half blind. Oh boy. Alright, I gotta figure this one out. I think I'll just go in there with a wrench, a little socket. So what really helps is having one of these mirrors. I use this a lot just to try to see just to get here, to get to this level. And now I'm trying to find that. Is that the nut? I think so. It's also holding a bracket on with these tubes up above. It's holding this bracket system on there with those tubes. This is the top of it. I have to, let's see. Yep, there it is. There it is. If you can see it in the mirror. So one of these 10mm with a ratchet end on it works, or I might just go back to this. So those were little nuts like this that came off, and onto the threaded studs. I lost one and dropped it down below, but at least I can get another one. The last thing I need to unhook is my hose that goes to the heater core, and it's a special kind of, like, I'll figure it out, but I just got to unhook that, and I think this whole thing pulls out. Okay, so this is that bottom hose that connects, and I'm on top of the motor right now. That little clip right there, you put a screwdriver in it and pop that out, and the hose should come off. So when I took the top nut off of this water outlet, that was just, the first one was just holding on a bracket for this tube that I've pulled up out of the way. Took the bracket off. You can see it right there. There's another nut down there I've got to get, and then I should be able to pull that out. I'm just taking it easy. It's very complicated. And there's another one down there. Yeah, the brackets have to come off first before I can take the unit off. You can see that right there. At least I'm not in a hurry. This isn't my daily driver. In fact, I have it off the road. I'm just going through it and taking my time and upgrading. So the deal is that I did have that sensor seal or sensor replaced, and they told me, a year ago, like, watch out for that outlet, and bring it back in if you want. We never did. So I don't know why, he would have put a new seal on. It was a new sensor. That sensor went bad. So that's not, I'm wondering if it's cracked around the top of that, like a hairline or something like that. But the deal is for this bracket to come, the other bracket where the bolt is, or nut is, this tube is on that, and then it goes all the way back to here with another Allen head bolt, which I've got that in there. I put it was on there pretty tight, so I had to use this to help pry it off. That has to be loosened up in order to get to the final down there. So finally, this is the bottom one. The top one came out just like this too. I think it's just the way it is. So I put all these little pieces up into, you know, this little area up in there. I already lost just one nut. I can easily replace that. So let's see what happens. It's loose. And we get to inspect this thing and see what's going on. If I can get it off that heater hose. And that's the last thing. I don't want to break anything. I'm going to take my time, but you can already see there's a bulge right there. That's the culprit. That's what we were getting to. So on the hose on the bottom, which is right there, I had to take this retaining clip completely out. And then I just gently pried with a long screwdriver. Let's see, it would go like this. Just along the bottom. No, it would be like, wait a minute, come on. How'd that go? Like this? Yeah. Be like that. I just pried like that real gently, and now the part is removed. I'm going to totally inspect it for any other cracks, but I believe that was popped out. I probably just pushed it back into place a little bit. No, it's right there. There's a bulge right there. We're getting leaking there and leaking there, and who knows, we could have a crack. So in comparison, I just looked at that. Those bolts came out so easy, and I already took this out once. This is just, the seal just feels distorted and really compressed. Whereas this is the new one, and it goes in real tight. I actually have to push it into here, and we've got some more sealing area. But as far as the place where it was leaking also was where the sensor was plugged in, and I don't know if that is cracked or not. It's difficult to tell sometimes because, you know, it only doesn't start leaking until it warms up. And I can try to zoom in, and maybe there is an issue with that. I'm not sure. But anyways, we'll put this new one in, and here we got this seam right here. It looks a lot nicer. I don't see much of a crack kind of thing going on. So basically, installation is reverse of removal. I didn't show the whole beginning, but that's pretty much straightforward. The hardest part is when you're getting back into that area and getting this part off of there. And now clean up and reinstall everything. So before reinstalling, though, you want to put, I'm shining the light right on it, there's a seal right there on that pipe, and you want to change that out and put a new one on. And then you also want to get a new seal for that too, the sensor. And that seal on that other pipe goes, you can take if it didn't come, mine didn't come with it, so I have to go to the dealer and get I'll just show them I need this seal right here. We've got the new seal for right there, and that's all they gave me in this part thing. I'm also going to use a little blue Loctite on those studs that hold that unit to the motor. So basically, this is the first time I've ever worked on a Volkswagen like this. I worked on the old school ones and used to build those motors, you know, 1971, 1600cc and modifications and stuff like that. But for many years I've worked on Hondas since 1990 and beyond, or until now. And, you know, just with those skills, taking your time and going through this stuff, and also the internet helps out a lot, especially YouTube videos like this. I watched a YouTube video on the breakdown of going into that, and that helped out a lot. I'll probably maybe put the link down there, I'm not sure. But thanks for watching, hope this helped out. I gotta make a list of little parts to get on Monday. Today's Saturday. Also, this is typically a $400 job at a dealership or you know, a reputable mechanic. So I'm saving some money. Yeah, it took me all day, maybe 5 hours.
Yeah. But you learn a lot.